NANI?!
Fine.
Yeah, we're good. It's no longer right.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Are you 100%?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I am red and black colorblind, so it just all looks gray.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The two
Julian?
most contrasting colors you could have. Like,
Go ahead. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Nerd Word, where nerd is the word. I am HaplessLuckett.
I am Guymanbrodawg.
Fireball.
I'm Jake again. This time not a ghost.
Yeah.
Not a ghost.
In the
He
flesh,
is here.
here in present.
He is like Casper in the first movie where he's only here until, what, 10?
Yeah,
And
that's my
then
bedtime.
So, how's everybody's weekend so far?
Oh, man. I'm vibing, dude.
You vibing?
It's a good weekend. I haven't had to do much. It's been fun.
What about you, good old fireball man guy person?
Been busy and productive, and I'm tired, but we'll make it.
You've been busy. What have you been doing?
Just errands, personal shit.
You get any new drawings? I know you're doing some new
I'm doing
drawings.
those tonight.
Nice. No one cares what Jake is doing. Just kidding, Jake. We love you. How are you doing, Jake? I love you, Jake. You know I love you. What's going on? I can't see who is in the Twitch.
See.
I can't read it.
We
Yeah.
got
Gabbo, what's up?
Gabby.
Gabbo!
Why? I don't know why it's not popping up on my feed.
And then we got 3D Witch 420.
You know what? Let me.
Witch 420.
So,
Is that
what
bad?
is happening, everybody? I apologize that for some reason it's not popping up on my phone, so I just pull it up on my computer. No big deal. And we are here to talk about nerd stuff.
All the nerds.
You got COVID? No, I am so sorry to hear that.
Is that
Red
Shantana?
Witch.
Maybe.
The red what?
3D Witch, I think.
It's
the
either
Red
the
Witch.
Red Witch or
Oh, the
their
Red
D-Witch.
Witch. The Red Witch.
Yeah, that is Shantana.
Hey, what's up?
Glad y'all could drop in on us.
So,
Super sorry to hear about the bad news.
Did I hear that Carlos Santana is in our chat?
Pretty
no.
much.
Okay, cool.
God.
Cool. Dope.
So, I hear that there is a new line of DC Multiverse figures coming out.
There's a few of them.
Really?
There is.
So, you want to kind of enlighten us on which ones are coming out?
Yeah, absolutely. The main ones I'm excited about are the Batman, the Robert Pattinson ones. They're coming. There's a whole wave of those. I'm pretty sure they consist of, yes, there's the picture. You can show that to the camera if you want. But that is a good looking figure.
I don't know if you can
Spot
see
on
it.
to the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know
you
if you
can't
guys can
really
see that,
see
but
that.
they're coming. Google them.
There's the
Hell with it.
Riddler.
There's a Riddler, the Batman.
Oh, well, that's spoiled now.
There's a Catwoman. Yeah, right. He was in the trailer, though, so it's not really spoiled. You saw the Riddler in that costume.
Yeah, no.
And then there's the unmasked Batman.
And then the unmasked Batman. And then
And then
We mentioned
there's also a Catwoman,
Yes.
and they come with a bat cycle in
Mhm.
the wave as well. So it's just a normal looking motorcycle. I'll probably
it's
get that.
the one from the movie.
Yeah.
It's exciting. That's one of them I definitely want to get my hands on. And then there is one I wanted to talk specifically about. I'm going to pull this out so I don't mispronounce the name here. But McFarlane, yeah, it's that. Batman of Zurin R.
Oh, God.
Anyone who's not familiar with this Batman, I'm not. I don't know this Batman from the comics or from any stories. I don't know him at all. You can Google that and check it out yourself, but it is the most ridiculous insult to Batman I've ever seen.
Dude.
Todd McFarlane murders the figure game. He is the best by far, and then he does that. Why would you do that? That's awful. I hate it. I think that figure should be burned. It should never be released, and no Batman fan should own one. That is uglier than sin. The devil hates that figure. If you gave that to the devil, he would be upset.
Oh, wow.
That is awful. That figure... Whoever made that color scheme originally should be hanging up by their feet and beaten with clubs under street light. It's awful. I do not.
Whoa.
That's how bad I feel about this figure. I hate it, and I will never own it. And that's. I wanted to talk about.
I'm
that.
gonna
Please
buy
don't.
it for you. Just out of spite.
Yeah, I
That's
think
all right. I'll have fun burning it since it didn't cost me
So,
anything.
random fun fact, because I recognized it and I had to look it up just to double check to make sure I wasn't wrong. That character appears in Batman R.I.P., which, have you read that?
No, I have not actually.
You would love that comic.
Okay.
really.
Yeah,
Batman R.I.P..
I might look
a
into that and
fantastic
see
comic.
where the origin of that thing comes from, but that color scheme is still never going to sit well with me.
I just think that to give Batman a bat at all is just kind of weird, and to make it look like a pretzel stick.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like a pretzel
Like
stick?
he's
sitting
actually
in the
got an
box?
actual bat. It looks like
When
what's
you
her
fight
name? Lucille.
crime,
Yeah.
you get hungry. Alright?
Right.
And you're not yourself when you're hungry, which explains the outfit. I get it now.
The pretzel stick basher. It's the
That
new
Batman-
Fortnite pickaxe.
That Batman has diabetes, so he has to have a snack while fighting crime.
That's right. That's touche.
So yes, ugly to horrible figure, and I don't like it, and I will never own it.
I mean, I'm looking here at the actual one of the actual comics. Even in the comics, it doesn't. I don't think I can.
Yeah, it looks awful.
Yeah, it really is not my thing. I'm actually like ooh about this. It's a very big ooh for me.
He has yellow sleeves, red legs, a red torso with purple gloves and boots, and a blue helmet and mask, and cape. It's so ugly.
It is. It's not my favorite. I mean, some people might like it. But it kind of looks like he went for like a Robin thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It looks like he got dressed blindfolded in the dark in Robin's room.
That's what it looks like. I feel that.
So that's kind of how I feel about those.
But I will be looking up that Batman R.I.P. series and checking that out, see what that's about.
So out of all of those, out of the new ones, which ones are you guys planning on getting?
All of them except that colorful one.
Yeah.
Really. I might. I might pass on the unmasked Batman from the Batman wave, but probably all the other ones. Yeah.
I'll probably get the whole wave too.
You can wave goodbye.
Bye.
There were actually a couple more figures that are coming out in the DC
Yeah, there are
Multiverse that I
more.
wanted to
That
mention.
wasn't it. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
stuck too long on
They
that Batman.
announced the new Robin from the Infinite Frontier,
Which he
run,
looks good.
Yeah,
and
he looks
I
good.
love how that looks. It's the Damian Wayne Robin.
Yep.
Right.
This was from him from Lazarus Island, and I really want that figure.
That one's a
Then-
good looking one I want for sure.
We also got
Which one? What do you got? Hurry up, tell me. I want to know.
Aquaman.
Yep.
It's a comic book
Comic
Aquaman.
accurate.
It is that comic book Aquaman with Jason Momoa's hairdo.
And I like it.
Yeah, because it
He's
looks.
blonde again.
He always
Yeah,
had the
it's
party
blonde.
mullet.
No, he had the
No,
short hair.
back in the 80s, he had the short hair, like,
Oh, I was thinking
like
New
his.
50, I'm thinking New 52.
Yeah, but the new 50. Yeah, that's true. That's
Aquaman
right.
looks better with the beard and long hair. Back
He
in
does.
the 80s, he looked literally just like Guyman. That haircut, no beard, clean shaven, like, that was Aquaman.
Yes, I'm speaking to fish. Yeah, I do like Jason Momoa because he looked more like a guide as opposed to a knot.
Got one more for you. Last one. This is the Justice League of America Martian Manhunter.
Yes, and I will be owning that.
Martian
He
Manhunter
looks
is pretty cool.
Sick. I love that fig. That's like the #1 figure that I want.
That's actually a Snyderverse figure.
Yeah. Which one is that? Which one is that?
That is the Justice League of America Martian Manhunter.
Okay, so that's not like the Justice League.
Not the movie, no,
Yeah.
but
Mm-mm.
we all know what that is.
Yeah, I do like that Justice League Martian Manhunter. I just wish they didn't pull a page out of the Marvel books and say, "Oh, he's been here this entire time.
Right.
He's just been here, but not doing anything about
You
anything."
didn't get to see him, you stupid fools.
It's it is pretty much exactly how that went down. All right. So Jake asked me a question earlier.
Yes.
So I figured we'd bring that up. So you're making your comic book movie, all right? You know, whatever comic book movie it is that you make, whether it be Batman, Flash, Spider-Man, Catwoman, Nightwing, whoever. Who would you rather have direct that comic book? Zac Snyder or James Gunn? Jake.
I'm gonna pass on. That's my question. So I'd love to hear someone else's.
Well, no,
Yeah,
first of all,
last and answer his
no,
own question.
I asked the question, so therefore I go last.
Then Julian goes first.
Well, I mean, that's sort of a tricky scenario because I don't recall any Marvel movies that Zac Snyder has done, but we've gotten to see what James Gunn can do on both fronts, so it depends what movie it is. If it's a DC movie, I'd probably want Zac Snyder, but if it's a Marvel movie...
But it's your movie. You get to pick whatever movie it is. You're the producer. What movie would it be, and who is directing it? Yeah.
I want a Nova movie.
A Nova, ooh.
By James Gunn.
Okay,
that could be good.
That I don't think Zac Snyder would do that. Yeah, that would be perfect for
be...
James Gunn. I'm not even gonna lie, that would be great.
That would be
I think
good.
he would kill that, and I'm just excited to see Nova in the MCU.
Well, we already kind of seen the Nova core, and the way that he made Xandar look was pretty fucking sweet. I really did like how he made Xandar look. That was awesome.
Most definitely.
Fireball.
Yes. Same question?
Yeah, same question.
Okay.
Character and director.
Well, I want to see a Lobo movie.
Oh.
And I want Zac Snyder to.
Oh, that's good because I don't think James Gunn would touch that one.
I don't think that would be up his alley.
It wouldn't. That would be a really good one.
I'd like to see Lobo.
That is pretty
They
good.
just pulled off old what's his face? God damn brain fart.
Come on.
The white-faced vampire guy,
Morbius?
Morbius, thank you,
Yes.
Jesus. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I know who Morbius is. Anyway, they just pulled that off, so I feel like they could pull off Lobo.
Yeah.
Somebody could.
I feel like you're right.
Yeah.
Jake.
I would take a Captain America movie directed by Zac Snyder.
Ooh.
That could be interesting. I'd be down to see that.
Why with the one we already have, why would you have Zac Snyder run that?
I think that the Captain America, the first Captain America movie, does a great job of generalizing it, but Snyder has a tendency to really focus in on details and bring a more comic accurate representation of. Not necessarily an origin movie. It could be really any. It could really be any Captain America comic book, adapted to screen. But I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen, it is a little bit darker, especially when he's fighting Hydra. And I just feel like Snyder has a better mastery over that over Gunn.
Fully agree.
But a Gunn Captain America, I just can't really see that. Captain America is not completely lighthearted.
I can totally see that.
True that.
I can totally get that. Now, I did a lot of thinking on mine, and I know we've already seen both of these people in live action already, so it's just kind of dumb for me to put another one out there, but it's one we haven't seen. It'd be one that I would jizz in my pants to see. A Spider-Man Deadpool movie. From start to finish. No Peter Parker, no Wade Wilson, no love connection, just Spider-Man and Deadpool. And I'm going with James Gunn. Because the way that he did Suicide Squad, the sequel, was exactly like the amount of comedy, the amount of jokes, and the way he did Peacemaker. I just feel like the combination of the two, it's just dark enough to be dark, basically, to fit the Deadpool criteria, but it's just lighthearted enough to fit Spider-Man's criteria.
I feel like the puzzle pieces fit nicely for that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And I feel like the way that the two characters are in contrast as they are anyway, that's already a lot of Peacemaker and Vigilante.
True that. True that.
What did you think, Jake?
Gabbo, how are you all doing? I am doing fantastic, Gabbo. How are you guys doing?
He's lying to you. He's currently being held hostage.
Oh, please.
In Cincinnati.
Help. This is not true.
But to go back to what you were talking about, what are the odds of Marvel releasing an R-rated Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Well, first of all, that wasn't the question. The question was, if I was making the movie, who would it be?
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with what they would do now.
Well,
And second of all, Deadpool is already confirmed to be rated R. So...
But they could, I think I see what Jake means. They can't really put an R rating on Spider-Man.
Yeah,
right?
Spidey's
You're not
a
gonna
kid.
have...
But that's not the question. Okay, if they were doing a real live one...
I'm not.
It's rhetorical.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical question. If we were ever to
Rhetorical
do it...
answer.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical question to a rhetorical answer. If they were ever to do one for real in the MCU, it would be very watered down and it would be very MCU. It would still work. It could still work. It wouldn't be as good as it could be unless Sony took the reins. If Sony took the reins, then yeah, I think they'd push the boundaries a little bit. But if it was straight up like MCU took the reins, no, it would be a PG-13. Which, if you already think about it, MCU movies already have the formula for a Deadpool movie anyway. There's plenty of dick jokes. There's plenty of killing. It just be missing a couple of F words.
Which is the
few
main
less
thing.
blood splatters.
It's not the main thing. The
less blood splatter.
The blood splatters would be the main thing because he gets dismembered, torn apart, and disemboweled, all that stuff.
Nah, they would just do MCU humor and censor it live in front of the audience and have them react to it as it's happening.
That would be the most Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
But
But
I can see, like, if Deadpool stays its own movie, like, if they make Deadpool 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, keep making Deadpool movies, he'll stay rated R. He will stay rated R. But if it's like the Avengers and Deadpool was a part of the Avengers, he'll be PG-13.
Yeah.
And then he'll make jokes about it. But if if somebody like Captain America or Spider-Man would join a Deadpool movie, it would still be rated R.
Yeah, and that character would get a darker story.
I still think they would keep that character like watered down to the MCU level, so that way people will be like, oh well, at least Spider-Man is still being Spider-Man. He's not out there dropping F words because he doesn't anyway.
True.
So those characters can still stay true to those characters if they went over to Deadpool's universe. So I think Deadpool would be the only one that would make the change.
Can I throw in one more just for shits and gigs here?
Sure.
Because tell me this wouldn't be a good one.
Okay.
But you redo a Batman movie. God knows we've seen so many. But a Batman movie that is based solely around the Dark Knight Rises storyline with the Carrie Kelly Robin and have it done by Zac Snyder. Now, how would that pan out? That's my favorite Batman story.
That's a pretty dark story.
I would really love that. Any Batman movie, I'm going to be honest, done by Zac Snyder, I would be okay with. I would totally be okay with a Batman movie if he did a trilogy. So I'd be totally perfectly fine with that. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Drop us some lines. Let us know.
But I do want to speak of some, movies and stuff. I do have a question for you guys. All right, this is the one I've been talking to you guys about for a while. If you could take one character, and all of his materials and take them out, which would it be between the Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers?
Ooh,
man, that's
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, not just so.
Well, wouldn't that be every Power Rangers ever?
This is true.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Julian, this is
not fair.
I know. I want to make your heart hurt a little bit.
So this might be a little harder for you guys. I don't have too much of an attachment to the Power Rangers for real, but I love the Ninja Turtles. So it's kind of Power Rangers gotta go
for you.
Yeah. This is fair. I guess for you, it would just be like, get rid of the Power Rangers because you didn't grow up during the best time of the Power Rangers. The Mighty Morphin. It's Morphin time.
They were the best.
Talking with their hands. Every time they talked, they had to move their hands in some more powerful way.
I mean, plus I think the Ninja Turtles have like a bigger impact on like
culture,
pop culture. Yeah, like I think if you ask a group of 100 people if they know who the Ninja Turtles are and the Power Rangers are, not all of them would say they know who the Power Rangers are.
Well, actually, that is false. I would say.
Yeah, they would know.
Yeah, because as you know, the Power Rangers still around. they're still around. They're not the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know, they had the Power Rangers and the Zeos and then the Dinos and the Space.
There was about 100 reiterations.
So someone's going to know the Power Rangers. If you were to say who the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is, people might say, like, I know the Power Rangers. So that might be the answer. Jake, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and go Power Rangers, boys.
What?
Power Rangers.
You would rather
buddy.
get rid of the Ninja Turtles and keep the Power Rangers.
I would. I grew up watching a lot of Toho movies.
Uh-huh.
I love kaiju movies. There's a special place in my heart for Power Rangers. There's a photo of me when I was like 4 in a blue felt Ranger suit that my mom and her sister had made for all the kids, like back in like 1994. So like, I have more of an emotional attachment to the Power Rangers. Yes,
That's fair.
But I mean, I do like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's a close second. But I mean, outside of the movies that I watched, and you know,
Just can't erase that from existence.
right?
There's no replacing that. That's fair.
Red Witch says, we had Ninja Turtles at the shop.
Yeah.
Gabo says I used to watch them as a kid. And then she replied, Red couldn't tell any of us what the names of the Power Rangers are.
But everybody knows all 4 of the names of the turtles.
Everybody.
Trinity, Zac, Tommy, Billy. I'm forgetting.
It was actually Trini.
Trini.
Yeah.
Okay. Trini.
Yeah.
Kimberly,
Zac, Billy,
Jason,
and Tommy.
Tommy.
Depending on what area we're in. Yeah.
I know.
But not
Red
everyone
Ranger,
knows
Blue
that.
Ranger, Green Ranger.
And then Aisha.
Everybody learned something.
Well, that was
today.
later because Trini died.
That was.
No, she died later. Like,
No,
Trini died like way later. It was like a contract thing as well.
Oh, some shit.
Zac
Okay.
and
I remember they did replace her.
Yeah, they replaced Zac, Trini, and Jason.
Yeah.
The Power Rangers movie was hype though.
It was good.
Seen that
The
in
first one?
theaters.
The first one was fire.
With Ivan Ooze.
First one
The
was
newest
gas.
one was not.
The Saban one was, or Saban. The newer live action one was garbage.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
garbage.
it was a good setup. If they would have
It would've
had
been good if there was a sequel, yes.
then it would have been better because you would have had something like, okay, I saw where it came from and this is where it's at. But as it was just
As a standalone was boo-boo.
You got 4 minutes of the Power Rangers and 6 minutes of the you got 3 minutes of the Power Rangers and 3 minutes of the Megazord, and that was it.
And then one cameo.
Yeah, one cameo that lasted 10 seconds.
Yep. It wasn't even a good cameo. It's like, ooh, throw this in real quick because he said yes.
Yeah.
But to answer that question, because I was the only one that didn't, I'd have to get rid of the Rangers simply because, like Jake, I have a very deep emotional attachment to the Turtles.
Yeah.
They were a big part of my childhood. I watched the Rangers as I got older with my oldest son. And I really got into them and loved it because that was his generation.
Right.
So, I got into it with him and I really love him and I do enjoy the Rangers. But when it comes to the Turtles, that's my childhood. So I'd have to get rid of the Rangers just to simply answer that one.
That's fair. Because I'm going to have to go with the rest of y'all. I'm going to have to go with you and you. Sorry, you're the odd man out, Jake.
Hey, that's good. We need differences in opinion. That's what we need.
No, Jake's opinion is just wrong. Because...
Nah.
No, yeah, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but the Ninja Turtles did have more of a lasting impact on me as well.
Like, I was born in 80, so you can imagine, yeah.
But
Well,
you
were
was also born
in
in
the
2000. You were born in 2000. 2002, and he picks Power. Well, I guess it makes sense.
I mean, the Turtles have had them keep coming. The Power Rangers got one movie recently.
Yeah, but that's also weird that the Power Rangers get a new movie based on the original Power Rangers and not one based on whatever the Power Ranger variation is now, like
that's
Dino
true, because
or
Mighty
whatever.
Morphin set the path.
I just think that's interesting that they went and rebooted that.
Yeah.
Fucked it up as opposed
they
to
ruined
making
it.
a bad one.
I mean, hell, the characters didn't even have the same names. The characters didn't even look the same.
No, the characters they all the same names.
I think they changed them up.
No, they all the same names.
No, because Zac was not the Black Ranger anymore. They changed him. They flipped names and shit.
Oh, okay. They flipped ethnicities.
No. I don't. Zac is the name that's associated with Black Ranger, whether it's a white kid,
Yeah,
Asian
and he
kid,
was
whatever.
still the Black Ranger.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
There was somebody that's name was switched. I can't
No,
remember.
everybody was still this.
I haven't seen that piece of crap since we went to the theater and wasted our money on it.
Yeah, everybody still has the same name.
Oh, okay, I thought there was somebody that was off.
No, it was just Billy was the Blue Ranger, and Zac was the. But Billy was black. That's basically what I'm saying. Billy was black.
Billy was.
I remember that.
Zac was Asian, and everything else was still the same.
Yeah. All right. Well, as long as the names weren't swapped, for some reason I feel like I remembered that. But,
Well, I can expect that because you have a horrible memory.
yeah.
So I can expect
true.
that. So I think that is. I think that's that. But real quick, I just want to go on and say, pop quiz. We have a pop quiz.
Quiz time.
Pop quiz. It's something I just want to throw out there randomly for the three of you.
All right.
Does the winner get a 20?
No, the winner don't get jack shit but respect from me. That'll only last the rest of the stream.
Do I at least get a good high five?
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. Here it is. You guys can
Wipe
answer
this
along at home
sleep.
as well. All right. Here's the question. All three of you get the same question, and I want you guys' answers.
Do we like raise our hand?
No, you're all gonna.
Just blurt it out.
I'm gonna go in a line and
Oh,
say.
right.
There's only three of you. All right. Here's the question. Who was Tom Holland's Spider-Man based off of? Was it A, Ferris Bueller, B, Marty McFly, C, Morty from Rick and Morty, or D, Andrew and Toby Spider-Man? Jake.
D?
D. Jake says D.
I don't remember
Fireball.
which one was which, but I know it was based off of Ferris Bueller.
And
That's crazy you say that because I know it was based off of Marty McFly.
is that everybody's answers?
What's yours?
I know the answer. I made the question.
You
Question.
cheater.
I'm not
You
answering.
don't get a high five.
No, I give you the high
Oh,
five.
yeah.
I'm gonna
that's
give you a
fair.
high
Did we
five.
And
all
I give
three-
you the high five.
Did we
because
all
you
three
are-
answer
I was
differently?
right.
Yeah, you all answered
Okay, so
differently.
one of us got it right.
Yeah, and that was him.
It was
The
me.
answer was Marty McFly.
Was it really?
Yes.
Wait,
I heard it something
Is that
about
it?
somebody said something about it being Ferris Bueller because there was a scene where he was like jumping the fences and doing the whole
Yes.
Ferris Bueller thing.
Yes, he did take inspiration from that. But in an interview during a homecoming, someone mentioned that you resembled a lot of Marty McFly, and he says, yes, that was exactly the goal. So
Okay.
his goal was to be more like Marty McFly, although he did take a little bit from Ferris Bueller, but his inspiration 100% was Marty McFly.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
But
I should have known that.
You did.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man wouldn't exist without Toby.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I said
Yeah.
his inspiration for the character. I didn't say anything about
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
that because you weren't
He
listening.
said Tom Holland himself what he used for inspiration for his
No.
rendition.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
said. You just don't hear me.
No.
Why do you hate
What?
me?
Did you say something?
All right. So another question here.
I
Got
like
a couple of
questions.
things about video games. I want you guys' opinions.
Yeah, you guys got to let us know too. Tell us
Yeah,
what you think.
let us-
Answer these questions your way.
Like, comment, subscribe.
For real, yeah. Actually, yeah. Like,
Do that for
comment,
sure.
subscribe, check out the Spotify, and yes, which had the best games, N64 or PlayStation? Julian.
Are we talking like PS1 or current
PlayStation
day
1. PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1.
Yes. Because obviously a PlayStation 5 is not going to hold up against N64.
Well,
Yeah. Did you just say that an N64 is better than PlayStation
Name
5?
said it backwards.
You know what I meant. I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone.
well,
Jump out my
I mean,
window.
my only memories of playing the Nintendo 64, I only played like a couple games,
Mhm.
so I don't really know. But like I've had a PlayStation 1 and had more time to play some of those games, so I think they're better too. I mean, because I don't really know the full scope of what was on the Nintendo 64.
I'd have to agree. I'd really have to agree because the N64, I think that came out years before the PlayStation, correct? It was like years, so they had time to develop some of the games. But also at the same time, the N64 was groundbreaking.
Yes,
It was like having that first Nintendo.
It was basically the first 3D system.
And it was. So I don't think we would have games for the PlayStation without 64. So I see where it is, but I do think in the long run, PlayStation does have like better games, only because PlayStation's still around today, and their games are like you can see the development. And granted, Nintendo does have the Switch, which is really cool, but it's just like it's you can't compare it to the PlayStation or the N64. It's more like a party thing and more for like the kids and it's more family friendly and user friendly as it is like for bigger gamers like the PlayStation and the Xbox and even PC, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to say gamers can't play the Switch, but the Switch is one that like, you know, my dad would play.
It's designed for a purpose.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going to have to go with Nintendo 64.
Really?
Growing up through the generations of both of those systems, I recall seeing way more games for the Nintendo 64, and the ones that I played for it still have high prices on them to this day because of the level of value that they hold for people. Like Conker's Bad Fur Day, for example. That wasn't on PlayStation. Yeah. That was an amazing game, and it's like $80 now if you find that cartridge and buy it.
$300.
Jeez.
And that's, you know, all to the highest bidder. So, you know, things like that and the Nintendo 64. I mean, everybody knows about 007 GoldenEye and, you know, the WCW NWO Revenge and, my God, even, like, everything.
Super Mario 64.
Yeah, Mario 64.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, you had the original Smash Brothers, like Star Fox. I mean, all these titles that came out specifically because the groundbreaking graphics. They did so much with it and went crazy, and they just had so many more games. Plus, I'm always going to prefer a cartridge over a disc.
Yeah, I think we had that conversation not too long ago.
I will always take cartridge. So, I'm going in 64.
So, oh yeah, Gabby said she liked loved Donkey Kong and Super Mario 64.
See, exactly.
And she also has a Switch, and she said online is horrid. Well, if you're trying to get rid of it, I'll take it off your hands. Jake. What do you think between the two, 64 and the PS?
Did you just beg someone for their console?
No, I said if they're getting rid of it, I will take it. There's a difference.
Just volunteering.
You know what? Don't avert the
question. Maybe she has a plan.
Don't avert the question.
So, you know, I had an entire plan for this. I came up with a lot of good things. So the answer that Fireball gave was essentially what I was going to give. So I'm going to do something. PlayStation. Trying to decide, it's really a 50-50 toss-up, so I'm going to talk through it. The PlayStation was pretty revolutionary for its time. Yes, it is cool that on the N64, the first 3D platformer we got with non-weird tank controls on the console was Mario 64.
Yeah.
But at the same time, PlayStation is responsible for modernizing controls for first-person shooters.
That is also true.
Yeah.
Back before the analog sticks, you had to use shoulder buttons L1 and R1 and like L2 and R2 to do stuff, and then like square was like usually to shoot.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Medal of Honor controls are awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time too, things like 007, and it's probably gonna piss a lot of. It's gonna probably piss off a lot of people. 007 doesn't hold up. Thinking about it as holding up, 007 doesn't hold up. But there's a lot of stuff on the PlayStation that doesn't hold up either.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, huge flagship for that back in the day. Try to play it.
Yeah.
It's more difficult than when it was when we were kids.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Crash Bandicoot. Everybody loves Crash Bandicoot, right?
Yeah.
But the controls were very non-responsive for an action platformer. Had weird camera angles.
It did, yeah. But I still love it.
N64, it was just first-party Nintendo games.
Yeah.
So there's Diddy Kong, there's Mario, huge Zelda fan, favorite game franchise of all time. A lot of Zelda stuff that stuck around. PlayStation brought variety. You had games like Twisted Metal. You had all the sports games, which to be fair was also on the N64. But you also had, I don't know if Resident Evil on there? Okay, so that was cross-platform. Never mind.
Yeah. I think 4 came out only for N64, correct?
4 I remember playing on GameCube.
Yeah,
it was GameCube.
GameCube and PS2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you know, so I mean, like, they all both have their own IPs, but I think we're gonna have to go with PlayStation. While I love the N64, the controller, like, I didn't know how to. There were 3 handles.
Yeah, this is like right here and then right here.
That's an ugly controller.
It is. It really is.
I love it. I think it's genius.
But I don't. No.
The way I see it is like if. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, to be a kid, if the controls required it to grab it from the side, you had to like dislocate your thumb so you reach the middle thumb. I have small hands.
Too much of a hassle, not really worth it.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is if PlayStation isn't better, then the people coming up with these consoles aren't really doing their job. Stuff is supposed to keep evolving and getting better over time. And I think by the time the PlayStation 1 came out, a lot of good things changed because of time.
Yeah.
So
You know, Nintendo 64 had something that PlayStation did not.
What's that?
They introduced the rumbling controllers with the rumble packs. You load that in like a magazine, like clip, and you're ready to roll. You got your rumbling, and they were the first ones to do it.
I think they were the only ones to do it.
Well, the first ones to do rumbling controllers. After that, they were all built in.
Yes, it's true. This is true.
They started it.
They did, actually. That is.
rumble pack.
That motherfucker went boom.
Was it just a non-stop rumble,
No,
or was it
it was
actually like
right.
on
It was
beat?
correct.
Yeah, it wasn't just like
It was
constant.
active, interactive.
Yeah, like pretty much like they are today, except it was like he said, you had to put it in as opposed to coming standard with controllers nowadays.
Gotcha.
So
It was intense rumble though.
It was heavy. Your controller would do this, like in your hand. It was nuts.
That's
I have to try
awesome.
it. Yeah, that sounds so awesome. I want it. I want one for mine. So if you guys want to send me one, do it. I'll send you a PO box.
Good old rumble pack.
But speaking of video games, we got a lot of comic book video games, and I think Julian, Guyman, didn't you have some in mind that you wanted to speak on?
Yes. So when I think of comic book video games, I'll say games that stand out to me the most for being like comic accurate and like a great representation of what I would read, Spider-Man games. Insomniac killed those two games, the Spider-Man and the Miles Morales.
Yeah.
I think those would be amazing as movies too. Like that would be a perfect Spider-Man movie if they just took that and put it on the big screen.
It would.
Like
I think that's
they're
pretty
spot
much
on.
just like Spider-Man if he's like a veteran. But you also got to think there are a lot more Spider-Man games than just the two that came out within the last 5 years.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because you got to think you got to go back to the Activision days, going back to the PlayStation as we were talking about. That first Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 3.
I'm talking about Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation. The original PlayStation.
The movie games?
Okay.
No, the original PlayStation.
I mean, we can go back further than that. Spider-Man and Sinister Six on like the old DOS
Oh
PCs.
god, that was fun. That was a good game, actually.
I mean,
really liked
Spider-Man's been around
Yeah.
as a game. Like
Or Maximum
that
Carnage.
was on NES. They had a remake of that for NES.
yeah,
And Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage.
Oh my,
I remember Web of Shadows was great.
Web of Shadows is still great.
You know, honestly, most of the Spider-Man games that have ever come out, even the Atari one, have been good.
Yeah, I can't.
Spidey games are good.
I think the only ones that I actually probably have a problem with was maybe the Amazing Spider-Man one, like the original, like the first one, not the second one. Second one kind of made up. The crimes were a lot really repetitive, but you know what game doesn't get repetitive at some point?
I think Jake had a thought.
Oh no, I was gonna say there's also more random trivial things to cement myself as a video game fan. Spider-Man vs. Kingpin.
Oh, that was a great one. I remember that. That was also that was Genesis, I think.
Was it?
Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it was good. It was a side scroller, but it was good.
Was going back through an emulator website playing old Spider-Man games and completely forgot there were some like messed up game over scenes back in the day. If you lose against Kingpin in that final fight, he hangs you up over a pot with Mary Jane, has like this villainous dialogue, and throws a lever, and he just dips you into a vat of acid.
What?
Dang.
It's
there's
dark.
entire thing with like this nuke plot that goes off. So if you don't do things like it's kind of like it has like a hidden timer to it. So if you take too long, nuke just goes off and takes out the city. Like,
Wow. So
it's like
they weren't playing.
no,
So is that your favorite comic book video game?
no, it's not. I just
Yeah, we're still on
What
that.
is
No
your
one else
favorite
spoke on
comic
theirs.
book
What's
video
yours?
game?
my I would say my favorite comic book video game hasn't came out yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it coming out?
Yes.
Or what is it?
Justice League kills the Suicide.
Oh yeah, that looks
Oh.
really
Suicide
good.
Squad. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
They finally actually started releasing gameplay for that because I didn't know what it looked like until recently.
Yeah, they only showed them cutscenes.
Yeah, and now that they have actually seen some gameplay and it's an open world, it might be fun because it takes place like in the Arkham series time, so it's like part of that. It's canon to that, so I think that's going to be really interesting.
That sounds awesome.
That along with Arkham Knights. Arkham Knights is going to be great
Gotham
too.
Knights.
Gotham Knights, yes.
Knights, yeah.
Gotham Knights is going to be. Ooh, that's going to be the tits.
That one looked
I'm
good.
excited for that game.
I'm super excited for that. But my favorite, I'm not going to say Spider-Man because we've already talked about Spider-Man, and I'm not going to just keep hyping up Spider-Man. But I'm going to go all the way back. I think it was 1992, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 95, excuse me. Sega Genesis, X-Men 2 Clone Wars.
Oh my God, it was so good.
It was fantastic.
That was such a great game.
I remember waking up Saturday morning cartoons, watching those, and seeing like these little small trailers for this game, and I'm like, I have to freaking get it. And to this day, I'm not gonna lie. Call me what you want. I haven't beaten it. Because as a kid, some of these side scrollers are hard as fuck.
They are.
Because, the gamers back, you have to be like a true gamer to beat them back in them days. But the gamers back in the days are the same, so.
Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
But, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's like, I beat Ninja Turtles 12 times in an hour. What are you talking about? Yeah, okay. But, no. X-Men 2 Clone Wars, I probably put more hours into any other game. I had both Sega and NES as a kid growing up. I always had multiple platforms. But I put so many hours into X-Men X2. It is so great. It's so fun. I love it. And just talking about it now makes me want to play it. It really does.
Dude, that game when I was a kid inspired me to take pencils and tape them to my hand and pretend I was Wolverine. I would play that for hours and then I'd get off of there and I was Wolverine.
Yeah, I know that feeling. But you, sir, what would your favorite comic book video game be?
Well, I have one, but I don't know if you'll accept it, so if not, I got a backup. But I'm going to say Comic Zone.
See, he said that when I mentioned it, but I didn't. I said I wouldn't accept it because it's not an actual comic book.
Comic Zone was awesome.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a great game. We can all agree.
You all should look back on that. He streamed that game before. It's hilarious. It's great.
So much. No, it's that no longer exists.
Oh, it's gone? Well,
Yeah.
then you need to do it again.
I do.
But if that's not acceptable, then my backup is going to have to be the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games. It's flawless gameplay. The graphics are amazing. The story is outstanding. The characters are wonderful. The voice actors are perfect.
Yes.
Everything about every one of those games is flawless. And I'm going to say by
Kevin
far.
Conroy Batman in those?
I believe he was.
He
yes.
was, yeah.
Yes.
And they had Mark Hamill as Joker,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Which is
But
the
then
exact
they
same.
changed it.
They changed it
recast
for Arkham Origin. It was Origin.
Origins?
Yeah, that's the one that they changed it.
Okay. Well, still, nonetheless, great series of games. They're the best comic book to game renditions I've ever played or seen. I absolutely love them, and it's not just because I'm a huge Batman fan. They are flawless.
Yeah.
I get that. I definitely get that.
I'd have to say that too. Even as a Spider-Man fan, those games are great. And Cabby says she has an urge to find that PlayStation game. She has a PlayStation. I do too.
Oh, nice.
I think I want to find it too because that game is absolutely fantastic. I love it so much that I kind of want to play it.
Now, this is not a top favorite of comic video games, but do any of you remember playing Spawn for PS1? The one where you could control the chains?
I don't, but
And
Jake has?
you remember that? It was fucking great, wasn't it? That was another one that is to be remembered on that list. Most people don't even remember that game.
I definitely
It was
don't.
great.
I absolutely don't. I am so upset with myself. I might actually have to look
You might have to look up some of that because the graphics for the time were great. The gameplay was amazing. It was fun. It was such a good game. Even had great music.
I think
Right?
I've seen
The music was good, yeah.
I think I've seen like images because back in the day they had the Game Informers and the Game magazine. So I think I might have seen game like stills from the Game Informer, so I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was good.
I just don't think I've ever actually gotten my hands on a physical copy of that game, but...
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
If you guys get the chance, definitely. I feel, that's the one. That's it.
Yep.
I felt it deserved an honorable mention because it was great.
There's plenty of honorable mentions, like
Yeah.
the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games and the Deadpool
That's
game.
true.
And
Deadpool game was
Walking
good.
Dead Telltale games.
Yeah.
I
What
love
other
those.
honorable mentions do you
There's
guys
plenty.
have?
You could list
The
them
Incredible Hulk?
Oh, the one for Xbox Original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was great. Where you
dude,
could
I
take the
remember
cars
that
and put
one.
them together like
Yeah.
boxing gloves.
Total destruction.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Total Destruction, yeah.
Yes, that was the one. Thank
That
you.
one
That was good.
was epic. The amount of fun, the amount of destruction. I remember getting that, and I was doing horrible in school or whatever the fuck I was doing. I was doing bad. So obviously I wasn't allowed to play games. I just had to go to work and go to school. And I rented that game. And I played like 20 minutes of it, like a half hour. And I was like, this game is so sick. And then my mom came home. And then she took it the next day, so I never played it again. But
I missed out. It was
I
great.
do need to go back. But actually, before we go, I had a little story back for the N60 when we were talking about the N64. I never got a chance to tell it because I completely forgot, and then we just kind of like
Kept going.
went on a tangent. Yeah,
We do that.
let me fix this mic. There we go. I owned a 64 back when I was a kid. Back when it first came out, my grandmother bought us one. And I was with my grandmother. We were at Sears back when Sears like sold stuff.
You guys remember them?
Yeah. Talking about carbon dating myself.
Fossil.
So we're in Sears and we're begging my grandmother because she spoiled us to get us an N64. Or I was begging because it was between a PlayStation, or it was between an N64 and whatever else was out. I can't remember. But I chose the N64 since I was the oldest, but Taylor got to choose the game. And I begged and pleaded and tried my hardest to convince him to choose Superman. Because, it was Superman on the N64. We were kids. We didn't care. It was superheroes. So we were sitting there I was sitting there in the store playing it, like, the little displays. And I'm like, we have to get this. This is going to be so good. This is going to be so great. He ended up choosing... I don't know the exact title, but it was a Rugrats game for N64. It was like Rugrats Treasure Hunt or something. It was... that's actually what it was. It was Rugrats Treasure Hunt for Scavenger Hunt, sorry.
Scavenger Hunt.
Rugrats Scavenger Hunt for the N64. We played it one time. We actually had a full game because it was like a board game on N64. If you ever have a chance, guys, to look it up, if you want to waste 2 minutes of your life watching a 10-minute video, do it. So we played that game once. Never bought another N64 game ever because by the time we actually got that, it was getting closer to the PlayStation.
Okay.
Sega Saturn, I think, was the one that was...
I remember Saturn.
Yeah. So I think it was around the time when the PlayStation was coming. So by the time we were actually I want a new game, PlayStation came out, my mom got me one of those. But yeah, during my childhood N64 experience was ruined by my brother who decided to get Rugrats Scavenger Hunt over Superman.
Oh my God.
Dang.
And as I'm looking at here,
Can we get a womp?
do I even have that?
Hold on,
Yeah.
Before you want one, we're talking
late.
about Superman 64.
Yeah.
It was better than Rugrats.
Yeah. No. Have you played
No.
Rugrats? Exactly. Have
Well,
you
I did on the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 had a great Rugrats
That was
game.
different. It
No,
wasn't a
no.
board game.
No, it was not a board game. This was Rugrats. Like I said, look it up if you have a chance. It's called Rugrats Scavenger Hunt. It is literally, you get to choose a couple of levels where it's like a pirate ship or the environments are cool for 64, but you literally walk up and down a board like you're playing Chutes and Ladders. It is Chutes and Ladders with Rugrats characters. That's it.
So there's no mini games.
No mini games. You can move up and down the board. You cannot move freely. You have to roll the dice, and then that's it. So trust
Superman
me,
was better.
Superman was better.
So your brother.
Ruined my N64. experience.
So did you throw Nux?
Right.
I mean, he was like 3 or 4,
So?
yeah, he was 3. Because this Rugrats, this
Oh,
came
kick
out.
in the face.
This came out in '99. Actually, he was like 7.
You should have
Oh,
let him
that's
pick
even
the
worse.
system. You should have let him pick the system because it was a 50-50 shot.
You know what? It's fine. It is totally fine. It's fine because I have one now.
Yeah.
But just to show you how bad this game is, on IGN, it is rated a 3.7 out
Oh
of
my
10.
lord.
So that is that screw Rugrats scavenger hunt. I said it.
I'm gonna get that game for you.
And I will burn it in front
You'll
of
probably
you.
get it for $1.50. Do it as a joke gift. That's
Yeah.
funny. I'll do it.
I'll burn it along with your Batman
Yeah.
action figures that he gets you.
Zur and all.
Zur and all, whatever. But that is it for tonight. We're going to have some final thoughts. Guyman, do you have any final thoughts? What are your final thoughts, Guyman?
Final thoughts. While we were talking about Spider-Man, I just wanted to inform everybody that there is a sequel to the Spider-Man PS4 game, and I'm hoping it's multiplayer. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
Fire Bizzle.
Oh, I don't remember if I've given this final thought before. But if you go through life with your eyes closed and your mouth open, eventually somebody will put a dick in it.
You know, that is great advice.
So open your eyes and shut your mouth.
Jake.
As a 2017, Superman 64 holds the Guinness World Record for lowest rated superhero game, citing its game rankings at an aggregate score of 22%.
And my final thoughts, Pumpernickel. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.